I've had a very fun April, as not only have I rewatched the entirety of Pirates of the Caribbean, though I won't be getting into that today, I've also just watched films where I don't need to think as much, which is a very nice change from some of the other months. Anyway, starting off, I watched Speed, and whilst I've definitely seen parts of this before, I can't remember if I've ever seen the entirety of it before. Anyway, as far as 90s action films go, it's brilliant. There's a perfect mix of comedy and action, Keanu is brilliant as always, the look is great, and if you have a spare 2 hours, you can't really go wrong with it. Apollo 10.5 was instantly one of my favourite films of the year, but is that really a surprise? It's Linklater, a fun animation style, a heartwarming story, and is narrated by Jack Black. We follow the story of Stan, a 10-year-old who is on his journey to space. However, it's so much more than that. It's coming of age, an adventure, a comedy. It's everything you could want in a Sunday night movie. It also somehow makes me feel nostalgic for a time I never experienced, and out of all of the films I'll talk about today, it's the one I urge you to watch the most. To completely switch genres, we have Boiling Point, which has definitely flown under the radar for a lot of people this year. Stephen Graham plays a chef in charge of a hectic kitchen, managing both professional and personal issues. It's fast-paced, doesn't leave much time for breathing room, has amazing cinematography and a great score. There's really no reason not to watch it. Oh, and something I didn't clock until about 30 minutes in is the fact that it's a one-take film, which embarrassingly I should have realised a lot sooner. We've all heard of Life of Brian, and it's yet another film that has taken me way too long to watch. I'd obviously seen scenes here and there, but I'm really kicking myself for not watching it sooner. It's fun, has some of the best comedic actors in British history, doesn't take itself too seriously, and is easily something you could watch time and time again. I've really been putting off watching Mass since I watched Nitram, and whilst it did give the film more of an impact, I wish I'd watched it sooner. It's a film where you truly feel like you are a fly on the wall. We are just watching people go through one of the toughest moments in their lives, and thanks to the incredible performances, it feels raw and real. For a film that takes place in one room, the cinematography is also absolutely superb, and it never feels boring. It's one of the few films surrounding this subject that I could definitely watch again. To lighten up the mood, I watched First Man, which, like every other film from Damien Chazelle, is amazing. We all know the story of Neil Armstrong, but to see it actually on screen is incredible. Gosling gives a brilliant performance, Foy is great as always, Chandler is always a pleasure to watch, and I really wasn't expecting to see Corey Strull in this, but he's spectacular. As with every other Chazelle film, the technical side is also incredible, with stunning cinematography, an awe-inspiring score, and of course, great direction. I just really wish I'd had the chance to watch this in theatres. I wasn't really sure where to begin with X, as it feels like an 80s horror film, but with a fresh twist that I can't quite put my finger on. It has a really solid premise, great characters, even better cast, and cinematography that I feel like we never get in this genre, and as far as new horror films go, it's easily one of my favourites from the past few years, and I can't wait until we get Pearl. My Own Private Idaho has been on my watch list for as long as I can remember, and I've somehow always thought it was another Keanu surfer film, but I couldn't have wanted anything more from this. The story is easily one of the most engaging I've seen with Keanu, the acting is superb, always love seeing River Phoenix, and it just has everything you want from a 90s film. I'd only ever seen 3 Michael Bay movies prior to Ambulance, and with the exception of Bad Boys, they've never really done anything for me. This, however, is easily one of the most enjoyable action thrillers I've seen this year. Yahya is brilliant, Gyllenhaal is amazing, the story is solid, and the drone shots are something else. One thing that really stuck out though was how shoddy the VFX was in parts. I mean, it's great what they did on a $40 million budget, but where was that bullet? Apart from that, it's an incredibly thrilling and enjoyable watch. Now this may come as a surprise to a lot of you, as looking at some of the reviews, it isn't that popular of a film. However, I really enjoyed Tusk. The story is really solid, the casting is superb, there's a good balance of comedy and horror, and there just really isn't anything to dislike. If you have a spare 100 minutes, I really don't think you can go wrong. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, you know what to do if you did. If you have a recommendation for an analysis, leave it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.